Hello everyone, this is Dr. SudhanshSharma from School of Computers and Information Sciences, and today we are going to discuss about cloud deployment models and service models. In fact, this is unit number 2 of our course MCS 227, that is Cloud Computing and IoT. And in this session, we will be discussing about different cloud models. The objectives of the today's sessions are, in fact, that after going through this session, you will be able to understand various cloud deployment models and identify and choose the appropriate cloud deployment model for various purposes. Apart from this, you will be able to discuss various cloud service models and describe the layers of autonomy of the clouds. Now, so far as the deployment models are concerned, the deployment models actually encompass the diverse approaches of setting up a cloud computing environment. And the cloud computing deployment models are being categorized into 4, that is the public clouds, private clouds, you are having the community clouds, apart from this you are having hybrid clouds. There are the situations in this session we are going to discuss about the situations when to use the public cloud, when the private clouds are more suitable for the execution of the work. Apart from this, the community clouds are what are the limitations, what are the advantages of the community cloud, and when to use the hybrid clouds. To begin the session, let's begin with the public clouds. The public clouds are in fact the clouds which are for the public, that is for the wider domains, wider publics, when the number of users are quite high and the security measures are not that much required. So that means it is a very flexible environment, and they are being required in the situation when the company is not having dedicated infrastructure setup, the financial availability is quite less. Apart from this, the security concerns are not high. So that means when a number of users are there and they want to access the services, likewise software, infrastructure, the platform, and any other service on the on larger scale, then public clouds came into the picture. So these are the clouds which are accessible from anywhere in the globe, and they are and is of ease to use in the general public. And any organization or enterprise or academic or a combination of them may own and manage it. Apart from this, the entire infrastructure is located on the cloud provider premises, and it is pay per use model and provides services on the demand according to the service level agreements. And the end user can actually buy these resources on an hourly basis and utilize them as needed. In public clouds, users no need to maintain any infrastructure. Instead, everything will be owned and operated by the cloud service provider. So that means cloud service is having some benefits, that is it requires minimal investments and no startup costs, and the infrastructure management is not required, zero maintenance, and dynamic scalability. And in order to discuss all these benefits, one should understand that the public clouds are being useful for the situations when say there is a company and a new beginning company, a startup firm, and that startup firm is not having huge amount of finances, and apart from this the use of softwares may vary from time to time. That means at some point of time the software requirement is quite on the lower side, but at another point of time it may increase. So if the company maintains a dedicated infrastructure, then the scalability will be an issue because the funds will be exhausted in maintaining those infrastructures. So in that scenario, the public clouds play the vital role to set up the startup firm, because they are requiring the minimum investment. The model estimates eliminates the need for extra hardware expenditure. And apart from this, because the services are being maintained by the cloud service provider, so there are zero maintenances. Apart from this, the dynamic scalability helps the user to expand and contract as per the needs. So we need to understand that when to use the public cloud and when it is not suitable to opt for the public cloud. So there are some of the situations, likewise, if there is a high demand of the resources resulting in a larger user base, then the requirement for the hardware will be quite on the higher side. So at that point of time, the public cloud will be quite helpful. Apart from this, when there is a dynamic change of resources based on the customer requirements, many a time the customer requires say small amount of softwares, likewise lighter softwares, not on the heavier side. Then at other point of time, the heavy usage softwares are required for the development of the product. Then because of the dynamic variability of the requirements, it is suggested that public clouds will be of use. Apart from this, when there is no physical infrastructure, the company may use the physical infrastructure available on the cloud, because cloud is a service, as discussed in the earlier sessions also, that it is the service which provides a virtual environment wherein you can use the hardware, you can use the software, you can use the platform, you can use various interfaces, and that's how you can maintain the situation even if your no physical infrastructure exists at your premises. Apart from this, when company financial status is not that good, then even in that situation, the public cloud helps the company to sustain the growth. Apart from this, it is not suitable for the situation when high level security is required, because in the public cloud the security is not on the high end. So apart from this, the company's autonomy is not maintained in the public cloud. So in the scenario when the company want to maintain their autonomy, they want to have higher level of security. So and apart from this, they are having say no scarcity of the funds, and they are having their own infrastructure. Then under that situation of we are supposed to use the private clouds. So private cloud is actually an environment which is specifically designed for the single enterprise, and it is an on-premise cloud wherein the infrastructure services are available at the premises of the service provider. Apart from this, the number of users is also not that high in comparison to the public cloud. So it is a dedicated cloud environment wherein the autonomy of the company is also maintained, autonomy of the person who wants to maintain the cloud is also maintained. So they are having their own benefits. The benefits of the private cloud relates to that when we need a higher security, we need to maintain our autonomy, we are not having any scarcity of the funds, so we need to have the better control. So under the situations when we want the better control over the data, and we want the data privacy, apart from this we want to maintain the security of the data, and we want that the environment can be customized as per our requirements, then under that situation it is better to opt for the private cloud in comparison to the public cloud. So there are the factors which relates to the suitability of the private clouds. That means these clouds are actually relevant for the enterprises and the business, where they demand their own cloud for personal and the business purposes. Apart from this, the business organizations have appropriate financial resources, since operating and sustaining a cloud is an expensive effort and there is no fund scarcity, so the business persons can maintain their own cloud. Apart from this, the data security is very important, and those companies, likewise the banking sector wherein the financial transactions are going on, the companies would like to maintain their own private cloud. And apart from this, in order to maintain the complete control and the autonomy over the data and the cloud resources, the companies are required to maintain the private cloud. So it is suitable for the organization which is having the lesser number of employees and they are having the pre-built infrastructure, and this will help to maintain the private cloud. So private cloud is having the edge over the public cloud, wherein we need to have more control over the data. We want to have more secure data. Apart from this, we are not having any financial scarcity. We can maintain the cloud services as per our requirement and maintain our autonomy. At that point of time, it is always advised to use the private clouds. Now there are the situations wherein it is advised to use the private cloud, and there are the situations wherein one should not opt for the private cloud. The situations in which the person should opt for the private cloud is that when the organization is having a simple number of, say, a fewer number of employees, then at that point of time it is better to opt for the private cloud. But wherein if the number of employees are more and there are constraints in the finance, apart from this, when there is no pre-existing infrastructure and operational and staff is quite insufficient, then in that situation it is better to opt for the public cloud, because but in that situation we are supposed to compromise with the security and When data security is a prime issue, then the public cloud is not advisable. In this session, we will be discussing about the situations when to use the public cloud, private cloud, community clouds, and the hybrid clouds, under which situation which one is a better option. So the next section goes to the community cloud. Now, community cloud is actually the extension of the private cloud, and in this kind of model, the sharing of the cloud infrastructure is happening among the multiple organizations in the same community or the area. So likewise, in the health sector, or say various companies, pathology labs wants to share the data. Now they are having the common interest. Now say pathology labs and insurance companies. Apart from this, say the banking sectors, so credit ratings are to be there. Apart from this, the companies who are contributing to the stock market, so they are having a common interest. So community. So community cloud is a situation, is a cloud infrastructure wherein more than one companies are contributing to the cloud infrastructure. So organization, businesses, financial institutions, banks are examples of such cloud community category. And the infrastructure is provided for exclusive usage by the group of the users and not by the individual. So a group of the users from the different organizations which are having the similar type of computing requirements, as I had already cited, might be from the banking sector, might be from the health sector, insurance sector, stock market. So these are some of the sectors wherein the community cloud came into the picture. Now the community cloud has got some benefits, that it is cost effective because it is being shared by the multiple organizations at the same point of time. The security is also required to be maintained in the community cloud, because one has to maintain the data security among the organizations, but the resources are to be shared among the organizations, as a result of which this community cloud is quite cost effective. Now, so far as the data sharing and collaboration is concerned, it is excellent for both data sharing and collaboration, because multiple organizations are sharing the data, and the cumulative, so far as say sectoral decision making is to be done, at that point of time we are supposed to share the data, collaborative decision is to be taken care. So if the community cloud is there, then the data is available at the in a collaborative and a cumulative manner. So because apart from this, multiple organizations are sharing the resources, so investments and expenditures are also being shared. So that's why the community clouds are quite cost effective. Now there are the situations wherein it is suitable to use the community cloud, and because in private clouds, if we want to scale up to a larger extent, then the financial scarcity might be there within particular organization. Not every organization will be able to handle the financial expenditures. So under that situation, at the larger scales, the community cloud will share the load of financial expenses. So that's why if somebody wish to build a private cloud but lack of financial support, in that situation it is better to opt for the community cloud. And apart from this, the organization don't want to maintain the autonomy. They don't want to take the complete control of the maintenance responsibility of the cloud. And then in this situation also, the community cloud is a better option. Further, if the company wants to work in a collaborative environment and wants to have more security in comparison to the public cloud, then in that situation the community cloud is a better option to opt for. Now there are situations when it is not good to work for the community cloud, because in a community cloud we are supposed to share the resources. Your autonomy will not be maintained. So if you want to maintain your autonomy and if you don't want to share the control among the resources, then community cloud will not be a better option for the organization. Now we are having the hybrid clouds. Hybrid clouds means many a times we need to have the flavor of public cloud and the private cloud, and sometimes of the community cloud also. So the amalgamation of more than one cloud category is actually the result of the hybrid cloud. Now in hybrid cloud, many times business organizations want to secure the data. Apart from this, they want to have the flexibility of the data, because they want to for data acquisition in a flexible environment, and after the acquisition of the data, they want to secure the data. So that means the organization are interested in working with the cumulative model of public clouds and the private clouds. I would like to cite an example that when we move out of our house, generally what we do, firstly we lock the rooms or the things which are valuable, where the valuable things are being stored. So that means on the primary ground, the security is the prime concern for us when we are moving out of the house. And as we move out, we make the final door to close. Prior to that, all belongings which are essential to us are being locked into the almirah, or wherein key and lock they are being there. After that, we move out of the house, and open space is available. So that means open space is the space wherein the security doesn't matter. It is an open ground. The person can move in and move out. That is the public cloud environment. But as we move into our house, we want that the data should be, we want that ourselves should be secure. So we want the private cloud environment. So that means hybrid cloud is a cloud situation wherein we start with the private cloud. That means we maintain the data security, and thereafter we move outwards. That is, we move towards the public cloud environment. So it is a kind of integrated cloud computing, which means that it may be a combination of private and public and community cloud, all of which are integrated into a single architect but remain independent entities inside the overall system. I hope you understand what I want to say. And it aims to combine the benefits of the private cloud and the public cloud. The most common way to use the hybrid cloud is to start with the private cloud and then use the public cloud for more resources. As I already said, the security, when security is the prime concern, we are firstly opting for the private cloud, and then we are moving towards the public cloud. And it is possible to utilize the public cloud for non-critical tasks like development and testing. On the other hand, the critical tasks such as processing company data are carried out on the private cloud. So there are the benefits of the hybrid cloud, because hybrid cloud is the amalgamation of both public and the private cloud. So there is a flexibility and the control. It is very difficult to maintain a hybrid cloud because we need to define the boundary up to which we want flexibility, and after which we want to have control. So what is the limit? Say 50-50 or 75-25 or 60-40 or what? What is the limit of flexibility and control? So companies with greater flexibility may create customized solution to match their specific requirements, and greater flexibility means they are opting for the more of the public cloud environment. Now, since the cost is it is amalgamation of public cloud and the private cloud, and as a result of which the effective cost is quite less, because the public cloud cost of maintenance is on the lower side, whereas the cost of maintenance of the private cloud is on the higher side. So it depends upon that what is the level of flexibility and control we want to have in our cloud environment, and this leads to the level of cost effectiveness. Now, because we are integrating the public cloud and the private cloud, so there is a level of partial security. Now, partial security means that to some extent we are being secure, but thereafter we are free to use. And this is an important model, because when we want a public-private partnership, then in that point of thing, we want some resources to be at the public level, and at some point of time, we want the resources to be at the private level. So in the hybrid model, we are maintaining the boundary line in between the two, at what extent we want to have public cloud and what extent we want to have private cloud. Now, there are the suitabilities, there are the environment when it is advisable to use the hybrid cloud. So hybrid cloud is actually appropriate for the circumstances wherein the organizations that desire a private cloud environment with public cloud scalability. So we want secure data but with the public cloud scalability, and that situation it is better to go for the hybrid cloud environment. And the businesses that demand greater protection compared to the public cloud. So as I already said, we need to define that what level of security we want and what level of flexibility we want. That is the organizational policy which has to decide that up to what level the data should be in the public domain and what data should be in the private domain. And there are the situations when it is not advised to go for the hybrid clouds, that when the organization prefer security as a top priority. So if the organization prefers security on the top level, then the autonomy of the organization is to be maintained. Under that situation, we need not to opt for the hybrid cloud. So maintaining hybrid cloud is not an easy task. It requires a lot of expertise, and skilled technical persons are required to go for the hybrid clouds. Now there is a comparative analysis. We are having the different characteristics about the data. And first and the foremost important characteristic is demand for the in-house infrastructure. And as I already said, that in the public cloud the in-house infrastructure is not required, but in the private cloud it is a mandatory requirement to maintain the in-house infrastructure, where in the community cloud the in-house infrastructure is being shared among the organizations. Where apart from this, in the hybrid cloud, it is required to manage the private cloud section. So there is a variation in the requirement of the demand for the in-house infrastructure in every cloud. So if you are having your own infrastructure, you can maintain, you are having skilled labor to maintain the entire infrastructure, then you are advised to go for the private cloud. But if you are having fund scarcity, you are not having your own infrastructure, you are having wide number of users, you are not having the skilled labors, then it is advisable to go for the public clouds. Apart from this, the community clouds are sharing the dedicated infrastructure, but they need to have the skilled labor to maintain the things. So sharing among the organizations can handle the demand of the in-house infrastructure. Now, so far as ease of use, it is one of the important characteristic which is involved to when we are going to choose among the clouds, that is public, private, hybrid and community clouds. Then public clouds are quite easy to use. It is a flexible environment, it is a scalable environment, no fund scarcity is there. So when you need not to have a skilled labor, it is all the responsibility of cloud service provider. So public clouds are easy to use. So it is when you are not having any specific technical staff, then it is advisable to go for the public cloud. But when you are having the skilled staff, your data security is very important. So you need to have stringent control over the data. At that point of time, you are supposed to use for the private cloud. Apart from this, so far as your community cloud is concerned, it also requires operational IT staff from the multiple organization, because it is the responsibility of multiple organization to maintain the data. Hence, it is also it is not easy to coordinate in between the multiple organizations. And apart from this, so far as the hybrid cloud is there, we are having two domains, the private cloud and the public cloud. So it is slightly complex, because we are amalgamating the ease of use feature of public cloud as well as of the private cloud. So in comparison to public cloud, it is not that easy, in fact. So far as cost effectiveness is concerned, the affordability is on the is lower side in comparison to the private cloud, because in the private cloud we are having the dedicated infrastructure. So as a result of which, the cost of infrastructure is on the higher side. So if you are having fund scarcity, you are having lack of resources, you are not having your on-premise infrastructure, then at that point of time it is advised to go for the public cloud. Wherein if you are having the dedicated infrastructure, dedicated staff, low number of users, then you are advised to go for the private cloud. So far as the community cloud is there, because the cost is being shared by the multiple organizations, at that point of time the community cloud in comparison to the public cloud, the cost is on the higher side, but it is distributed among the organizations, so comparatively it is low in comparison to the private cloud. Apart from this, in the hybrid cloud, it is on the cheaper side in comparison to the private cloud, because we are amalgamating the features of the public and the private cloud. In the public cloud, the cost of operation is on the lower side, wherein in the private cloud it is on the higher side. So the combination of two is moderately as per your need. Subsequently, the next feature in choice of the cloud is your security. As we had already discussed, that number of users in public cloud is on the higher side, and the security is not the prime concern. So if security is not is a prime concern, then it is better to opt for the public cloud. So security is on the lower side in the public cloud, but because we are having a dedicated infrastructure, dedicated staff, and on-premise control of over the data and the infrastructure, so security is on the higher side in the private cloud. Thereafter in the community cloud, we are having the data is on the security is on the higher side because the security is being shared by the multiple organizations, and in the hybrid cloud the security is on the moderate side. So this is a comparison in between the public, private, community and the hybrid cloud, and I think you are able to understand that how different clouds are useful in which situation, and this will help you out to choose a better option among the clouds. Thank you very much.